Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. This is the weekly eCom planning session, one of my favorite planning sessions of all. So, my passion is helping people on their e commerce journey, helping them to get laser focused, helping them to make progress in their e commerce business, helping them to achieve their goals or establish goals. And if that is you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free one-on-one session with me by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. You can also join Ecom Sellers Academy by going to ecomsellersacademy.com, and you can sign up for $17.99 a month. You get 10 free retail arbitrage, online arbitrage leads to help you get started. You'll get 10 free wholesale supplier lists. In addition to that, you gain access to our live weekly training sessions, and you also gain access to our membership site where we have over 200 training videos to help you to get started on your road to success in e-commerce. And if you have not already done so, I encourage you to grab the eCom Planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com. You can purchase the digital version or the physical version of the e-commerce planner. It is specifically designed to help you on your e-commerce journey, help you to get organized, to get focused, to be consistent, to stay productive in your business. So, this is our weekly ecom planning session. We do this every Saturday at around 7 a.m. And during this session, our goal is to actually help you get next week more structured, more focused, more organized than it's ever been before. By doing that, you're going to start making more progress in your business towards the goals that you have. I have no idea what your goals are, but you'll start to make progress. So, we're going to talk about what those potential goals should be. I believe that there are like five core, maybe six core things that every e commerce seller, regardless of what e commerce method they're doing, whether they are selling on any platform, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, whether they're doing drop shipping, whether they're doing print on demand, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, white label, private label, wholesale, that there's some core activities that all e-commerce sellers do. So one thing, of course, is that they do product research. Yeah. They also do some listing research. That we all do some sourcing. I mean, we got to source from somewhere. We got to get our products from somewhere. And we all create listings. Doesn't matter. Everybody's doing the same thing. And we all have some level of a shipping component to our business, whether we're doing it ourselves, whether we've outsourced it, or whether or not it's automated for us. And we all have a customer service component of our business. And we all have an administrative component, which has a lot of different pieces that are part of it, but we all have an administrative component of our business if we're running an e-commerce business. So from that standpoint, when we do the weekly planning session, we are talking about everything that is related to e-commerce, regardless of which e-commerce method that you're doing. So you can download the weekly ecom planning session or the weekly ecom planning checklist directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. You can download it from there. And that way you can walk along with us. Use it every week to help you to get focused, to get organized, to get structured in your e-commerce business, and to make progress. So with that being said, I do want to invite you. You can join us on our daily ecom planning sessions, and those are Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. as well. And then we have our monthly ecom planning sessions, which are the last Sunday of every month at 7 a.m. So you can join us on any of those. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm showing my screen. We are live inside the e-commerce planning Facebook group. If you want to see the actual document, and you can go there and you can download it. It's in the files section. We're going to step through the weekly planning session, and we're going to plan out next week's success. As part of that, that's going to help us plan out next month's success and the success that we're hoping to have in our business for the rest of the year. So, with this, everything that we do in our business, all the incremental improvements that we make, that we implement in our business over time, are going to reshape the future of your business. So, it's all the little decisions that we make every single day. Step one of this process of preparing for next week, because a lot of people don't prepare for next week, is to actually build the weekly template guide. What is the weekly template guide? So the weekly template guide is kind of like, what are the things that you're doing in your business every single week anyway? Or that you should be doing in your business every single week, or that you want to be doing in your business every single week. And what we're going to do is we're going to spread out all those activities throughout the week so that we can start to make progress in our business the way that we've always envisioned it. So if you're trying to get to $1 million business, then you got to go back and kind of look at, okay, what are the things that people that are $1 million sellers, what have they done? Besides, they eventually find that one product that just, but besides that, there's some other things that they do on a regular basis. And so every $1 million seller that I know, regardless of how they got there, messy or perfect, they all have some level of organization and structure in what they do in their day, and what they do in their week, and what they do in their month. They make intentional decisions about what they source. They make intentional decisions about when they source it, when they list it. They make all these decisions. So we're going to build the weekly template to help us get more organized and to help us get on that road to success. Step one of that process, when we build the weekly template, we're going to identify, like I said, the things we already do, they need to do, and want to start doing. And we're going to place all this information. Either you have two places you can put it. You can put it inside your eCom planner, or you can put it inside, which you can download the digital version of the eCom planner, or you can put it inside of Google Sheets. I do like Google Sheets because you can access them from anywhere. You can access them from your mobile device, whatever works for you. So if you go and you create a Google Sheet, you log into your Gmail account, you click on what I call a Rubik's Cube, and then the Rubik's Cube is those 9 dots that are all up in the upper right-hand corner next to your initials. And then you choose Drive. Once you click on Drive, you'll go over and on the left-hand side, and you'll click on New, and choose Sheets. When you open up a Google Sheet, what you're going to have is your first tab, or the first folder tab at the very bottom, is going to be where we're going to be putting all the things that we're going to do this brain dump in, all the activities we need to be doing in our business. And then tab 2 is where we're going to actually organize that and turn that into our weekly plan template. So the way you get to tab 2 is there's a little plus in the lower left-hand side. You'll click on the plus and you will create a second tab. So before we're done, you're going to have 2 tabs where your information is going to be stored. Okay. And if you don't put it there, you can put it in your eCom planner. So with that brain dump, what are we putting in the brain dump? We're going to write down all the things we already do in our business. What are those things you already do? Well, if you're already sourcing, and let's say you decide that you're going to source Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm just making up some random stuff here. So if I source Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to write that in my brain dump, and I'm going to put sourcing. And I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, if you're specific about how you source, then, okay, I source here. So if you want to put down your websites, or if you want to put down who you source from, or if you're doing something local, maybe you're doing liquidation pallets, I don't know. You can put specifics if you want to, but things that you are already doing. If you're already creating listings Monday through Friday, or if you're already checking on your automated shipping orders, on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, write down the things you're already doing in your business. That's the first thing you're going to do. So we're going to write out a brain dump of what we're already doing. Okay. The second thing is that we're going to write down the things we need to start doing. We must do in our business. So I think one of the things that everybody runs away from is the administrative tasks in their business. So if you're not doing those things and you really need to be doing them, if it'll make tax season easier for you, then you need to write that down as well. So this is going in the brain dump. We're going to write down the things we need to be doing in our business. We're not going to say when we're going to do these things, but the things that you need to be doing. What are the things that you're avoiding? Okay. What are the things you're running away from? And then the things that you should be or want to start doing in your business. So currently, maybe you are doing retail arbitrage and you'd really like to start doing print on demand, or maybe you're doing drop shipping and you'd really like to start doing private label, white label. So let's go and write down all the things that we want or should be doing in our business. Okay. And so we're making a dump of everything that we should be doing every single week in our business. That's the first part of this journey. And we're going to take that brain dump and we're going to turn it into something that's going to create a weekly template or a guide that we can follow. So you're also going to look at the things that you do in your personal life. I think that is one of the things that I've discovered as a coach and as a mentor and guiding people on their e-commerce journeys, that people really don't think about their personal life. We're not saying that, okay, when you work, that's all you do is you work, and when you do your business, that's all you do. But sometimes we have a lot going on in our lives. We're single moms or single dads. Maybe we're family people. Maybe, we have a lot of family members that are near us and friends. Maybe we're a social butterfly. Maybe we are isolated. I don't know. But there are aspects of our life that connect with or sometimes impact our business activities. And so if one of the things that you've been struggling with is getting more organized and structured and actually being productive in your business, but you find yourself procrastinating, wasting time, we got to start accounting for building a schedule that will help us to find all of those spots in our life where we're wasting time, where we're engaging in activities that are not serving us well or helping us to build our $1 million e-commerce business. And with that, we're going to go in and we're going to try and get rid of all of those things that are not serving us well, or modify them in such a way to where we're filling it with something that is going to serve us better. That's something that is going to help us reach our goal, something that is going to help us to stay more productive in our e-commerce business. So we got to identify all those things. If you're a person and you're currently going to church on Wednesday nights, going to Wednesday night Bible study, put it on the list. These are the things you already do. Every Wednesday, you go to Bible study at 7 p.m. Write it down if that's what you already do. If you're already taking your kids to soccer on Saturday mornings from, I don't know, 9 a.m. until 11 a.m., you're out there in your lawn chair watching little Bobby run back and forth across the field. If you're already doing it, write it down. That's a time block in your life that's already dedicated and committed to something else. Okay, so you can't use it for anything else. If you're a person that does weekly meal prep, I do that. I raise my hand. And so if you already do weekly meal prep and you don't have you like that spot, like it works well, you've been doing this for years and that's the time spot that works for you. So for us, we do meal prep on Saturdays. Saturday night is when I do meal prep for the entire week, and it serves us well. I don't put anything else in that time block, so then that way I don't have to cook in the kitchen every day during the week. So if it's something you're already doing, put it on your brain dump, so that way this is an activity you're already doing on a regular basis. If you go to the gym every morning at 7 a.m., if that's what your thing is, if that's your jam and it serves you well, it gets you going on your entire day, and you have a really good day when you go to the gym, put it down. It's already serving you well. 7 a.m., I go to the gym Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. So write down the things that you already do in your business. Because when we build this weekly template, we're not trying to go against the grain. We're not trying to build a schedule that's going to be difficult for us to follow. We want it to be as natural and as organic as possible. So we're going to make a note of all the things we already do in our life, we already do in our business, and we're not going to go against the grain there. The next thing is you need to write down, again, as you think about your personal life, what are the things that you really need to do or must do in your business? So if one of your challenges is, maybe you don't reconcile your bank account at the end of each week, or you don't, maybe you don't exercise and you really should. Maybe you don't spend enough time with your kids, and so because you're on a computer all the time, or whatever the case may be, and or you're working all the time, and you really want to be doing that, you need to be doing that. So write down the things that you need to be doing, not just in your business but in your personal life, and then go through on the things that you want to start doing. Maybe you want to start going to the gym. Maybe you want to get up earlier and read your Bible or meditate alone. So write down all the things that you want to start doing. So when you're done, you've got an already do. These are things I already do, things I need to do, things I want to do in my life and in my business. Okay. We're going to organize all of that brain dump in just a minute. Now, when you're going through and like, I don't know what are the things that I want to do, should be doing, need to be doing in my e-commerce business. I know what I do in my life. Like I know that I've got this nighttime routine with my kids. I've got a morning routine with my kids. I know I got to go to my job, my 9 to 5. So that's a time block that I can't schedule anything else in the middle of. I know, if there's things that you already know, maybe you are a part of a choir. I have no idea. So there's things that you're already doing in your business and also in your personal life. That stuff is probably going to be easy. It's going to be fitting in all the other stuff around those activities and making sure that you don't miss the important stuff. So when I talk about the things that you want to do, should be doing, already doing your business, here's some of the things that you can be thinking about. So everyone has a sourcing activity. Like I think about sourcing, and the way I think about sourcing is I think about the next 2 to 20 weeks. I don't just focus on right now. Why is that? Because whenever Mother's Day just happened, we know that Cinco de Mayo just happened. May the 4th be with you just happened. Like all these things just happened. Graduations are about to happen. Like some of them are happening this week, and some of them are happening today. So when it comes to sourcing, we're not sourcing the day of. It doesn't do you any good to source for Mother's Day on Mother's Day. I mean, you could if you're preparing for Mother's Day for next year. But the reality is you source for Mother's Day in advance, right? If you're selling Mother's Day stuff or graduation stuff. And so you should be sourcing for that stuff at least 20 weeks in advance. 16 weeks is fine. 12 weeks is fine. Even 8 weeks is fine, depending on where you're sourcing from. But you don't do it the day of. So that's the reason why when I say sourcing, it's always like 2 to 20 weeks in advance, depending on what it is. And so I need to be acquiring that inventory in advance, or sourcing for that inventory in advance, or planning for that inventory in advance, because I've got to create listings for it. Yep. I've got to maybe ship it in to my fulfillment center. Yep. And so I got to make sure those listings are live. I got to make sure my fulfillment center has them so that they can get it out to the people who buy it from me before the date hits. So it requires some level of advanced thinking. So the sourcing activities, I don't know what your sourcing activities are, but I know that you should be doing them if you're an e-commerce seller. You're probably thinking about upcoming holidays, events, seasonal. Okay, maybe. Depends on your method and style of e-commerce. If you are selling maybe wholesale, you don't want to do the seasonal, you don't want to do holiday, and you don't want to do like upcoming events, then you might be sourcing in such a way that you're focused 100% on replenishables, things that people buy all the time, so you don't have to focus on a specific time of year, or consumables. Maybe you're selling groceries. Maybe you're selling things that people are going to consume on a regular basis, so they got to replenish it. So I don't know. Maybe you're doing wholesale or drop shipping, and so you got to go do some research on wholesale or drop shipping opportunities that are going to be coming up in the future. Or maybe you've got private label products, so yours is more simplistic. But are there complementary products that you could be selling to go with your current wholesale product? Maybe. So having some level of, having that list of products might be helpful in the future. So sourcing is not just one thing, it's many things. Then the next, so you do have a sourcing component to your business. Then you have a research component to your business. Research, that's product research, that's listing research, that's keyword research. You're researching something, you got to put up listings. So you're not just writing some random words to put up a listing. You're being intentional with the title and the description. Maybe you are just being random. I don't know. I have no idea what your skill set is. But again, you got to pull together some information so that you can create that listing. So you also have to pull together some information, figure out where you can buy these products, whatever it is you're thinking you're going to sell, you want to sell, you're thinking about selling, the complementary products that go with your white label or private label products. So you've got that. And then next you got listing activities. So you've got to create listings, period. In order to create a listing, you got to have some images. I hope you do. You've got to have, so you got to make sure you got those. You got to figure out what you're going to sell it for. You got to have a description. You got to have a title. So these are all activities that you're already doing, hopefully in your business. I hope so. Maybe you're not cross-listing, and you should be cross-listing. Maybe you're not multi-channel, and you should be. Maybe you're not creating videos to go with your listings. That might be helpful. You can use still pictures, and turn it into a video, and that's really cool when you can do that. There's different tools that will allow you to do that. So, what are those things? Then the next one is shipping. So, like I said before, everybody has a shipping component to their business. So, those shipping components, like if you're doing FBA, sending it into Amazon, that's fine. Or sending it into Walmart Fulfillment Service, WFS, that's fine too. It's a shipping component. You got to package it up and get it there. You got to put certain labels on it and do all kinds of different things in your back office so that way you know what's going in and how many boxes and which warehouse is it going to and all that fun stuff. Maybe you're using a fulfillment center or a 3PL. Again, you still have to package stuff up. It's got to be cataloged in such a way that when your fulfillment center receives it, they know it's your inventory. They can check it in. So you got to go into a back office. You got to put some stuff in there. And then you got to package all the stuff. It's an activity. And then you got to ship it off. Maybe you're fulfilling orders yourself. So you're taking care of the shipments. And that's fine. It's okay. Again, it's a shipping component to your business. Okay. Or maybe you are doing drop shipping. So you just really, or you've got, you're doing print on demand, either one of those. So you've got to go and just reconfirm and audit that the shipments went out, checking on that. Because if you're not checking to make sure shipments go out, you'll never know you have a problem until you start getting a boatload of returns and refunds, huh? Yep. All right. So then you got administrative tasks. There's so many administrative tasks, and this is not all of them, but you've got the reports that you run for the platform. You should be running them. Now, I'm not saying these are things you do every week. These might be things that you do once a month, but you are doing them. Some of them you do daily, some of you do weekly, and some of them you do monthly. So you got platform reports, you got filing taxes, you got bank reconciliation and account reconciliation. You got because you got to reconcile your accounts on some of these platforms too, just to kind of audit what's happening. You've got to balance your budget or create a budget, maybe. You got to track expenses and your receipts, order inventory, check expiration dates. Again, not everyone is going to have some business that they run that requires them to check expiration dates. Some of you will, some of you won't. You got to go through and maybe audit your inventory. Maybe that's something you check at the end of each month, and maybe you do a full-blown audit once a year. Sorry about that. You've got standard operating procedures that you're developing. Maybe at some point you envision yourself outsourcing stuff to a VA. Adjust your prices. Maybe you have a tool that you use to do your price repricer, but from time to time you need to just check on that and see how it's going. Or maybe you're manually doing it yourself. I have no idea. You need to analyze the data, review the stats. That's something you should be doing on a regular basis. So that could be one of those things that you put under the should be doing, but not really doing it yet. So remember, we had that spreadsheet that we're starting off with our brain dump of things we already do. And when we do that, things we should be doing and we need to be doing in our business. And so maybe these are opportunities to put things under there. Then the next one is customer service. So we, handle questions or inquiries, deal with returns, refunds, and reviews. Reviews is one of those things that, maybe you're not thinking about that. And so you got to deal with customer reviews. Then the next one, I think, is just an unsung hero that really could be a game changer in your business. And it's something that you should be doing, but you maybe are not, or you want to be doing, but you're not. So, education. Everyone should have some level of an education activity that they do in their business, at least at a minimum, on a weekly basis. So when I say that, what are the things that you want to do better in your business? Things that you want to do or understand better in your business? Skills that you feel like you need to develop in your business, or things that will help you be a better seller? So an example would be, maybe it takes you forever to create listings. You are just slow moving. An hour later, you have one listing up. So at that point, you might be a little defeated if it takes you an hour to create a listing. So now I'm not saying creating a listing in 1 hour is a bad thing. I'm just saying, depending on what it is that you're doing, how you're running your business, and what you're selling, that may not be a good thing if it takes you an hour to create one listing. So there's different pieces of creating that listing. And maybe one of the things that you're struggling with is keyword research. So if you focused once a week for maybe an hour or 2 hours just on getting better at keyword research, and you did that for a month, that's 4 weeks, that's 4 hours. And every single week after you do that keyword research, maybe you're doing that activity of learning something new on Sundays, and you're applying what you learned Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What's going to happen to your business 2 months from now, 4 months from now, the next quarter, and quarter four? What's going to happen to your business? It's actually going to be running much better because of the fact that you got better at keyword research, which means you're probably getting better at getting more organic searches or coming up in organic searches. You're getting more traffic to your listings organically, which means you're getting more sales. And the fact that you took the time to make sure that you spend at least 1 hour a week getting better at keyword research and you committed to that for a month could potentially be game changer in your business. So what's another thing that you maybe don't do as well? Maybe you're struggling with just understanding the reports in your back office. Maybe there's 3 reports that you always run, and you've been told there's 25 reports available to you, but you run 3. Okay. That is something that maybe you decide, okay, I'm going to commit to understanding what's available to me in my back office and how I can use it to help me become a better seller or make better business decisions. So maybe once a week, you commit to running some reports in your back office and analyzing it. That again can help you make better decisions in the future. Maybe you've got some broadcasting or some forecasting reports that are available in your back office that you just didn't even know were available to you because you're only running the 3 that you run. And one of them you only run once a month. So taking the time to get better at something that you're not good at right now, doing that incrementally over time is going to change your business, period. So if you're struggling with getting better, keyword research, maybe you're struggling with sourcing, maybe you're struggling with product research, maybe you're struggling with Facebook ads or Google ads, maybe you're struggling with Instagram ads or even Amazon PPC. Maybe you got a training program that you bought. You probably bought something like, I don't know, a year ago, and you just haven't done anything with it. It's just sitting on the shelf. Like, I spent $999 on this thing and I haven't done anything with it. This is a great opportunity for you to make sure that you're putting aside time every single week to get better at running your business. So maybe you go through and you review that training program that you bought, and then from there, you implement what you learned that week. So committing 1 hour a week to that activity is sufficient to get going. I'm not asking you to spend 8 hours mastering something. I'm talking about 1 hour a week and getting better at something. So Facebook ads, maybe you focus 100% on Facebook ads 1 hour a week for the entire month of May. Then in June, you focus on Instagram ads for 1 hour a week the entire month of June. Then you focus on Google ads for 1 hour a week every single week the entire month of July. What's going to happen to your e-commerce business when Q4 hits? You will be so much better at creating ads, targeted ads, because you're doing this every single week and then you're implementing what you learned every single week. So now you're moving forward in your business. You've invested 12 hours, but you didn't do it all at one time, and you're learning something and then applying it immediately throughout your week. That means you're going to have a really nice Q4. So think about the things that you don't do well, and these are opportunities. So do you have an education component in your current weekly plan? If not, I would write it down under should. I would definitely put it there. If you're already doing it, that's fantastic. So I would write it down under need, actually. And then marketing or traffic. So maybe you don't have any money for ads, but There's different marketing or traffic related activities you could be doing to help you get more exposure on your product, like get more eyes and views on your products. So one of them is running your listings through Pingler or Ping Farm. Maybe you're doing that. I don't know. But if you're not, that could be an activity that you want to put under need or want to start doing. Optimizing your listing. Maybe you really haven't mastered the art of optimizing your listing. Maybe that goes under an activity under education. And then once you get better at it, it's something that's going to help you to get more organic traffic to your listings. So, connecting with influencers, yeah, that's an opportunity for sure. Um, that's going to require you to spend some money. Promotions, that's going to require you to spend some money, maybe. Or maybe you just offer a deal on some inventory, some dead inventory you're trying to get rid of. Um, Social sharing, sharing your listings out on different platforms or in a blog. Again, we're working to get better at paid ads. So spending money is always, something that you can look at. If you have an email list, but maybe you're not emailing out to your potential customers, and that's one thing you want to start doing, or you feel like you need to start doing. Email marketing can help you to grow your business. So going through that process of documenting the things that you are doing in your business, you already do. We're not trying to go against the grain. If those activities are serving your business well, and if those activities are serving your life well, because again, you do have to figure out how to shape together, mold together, put the puzzle pieces together of running an e-commerce business and living your personal life. That's the balance that when people quit, that's where people quit because they're like, well, this e-commerce thing doesn't work. And I'm like, it does. You're just not as organized as you need to be in order to make it work for you. You got to get better at creating a really good schedule so that you can do the things that you need to do in your e-commerce business. Okay. So going through that process and doing that brain dump and thinking about all the things that you are doing in your business, you need to do, documenting those and putting those in the different columns. After you put those in the different columns, next to each one of them, think about which day. Now start organizing that brain dump and thinking about, what do you typically do every day? So there's going to be things that are on your list that are daily activities that you already do. And then when should you do some of the tasks that you wrote down? Because you're writing down all these tasks that you either want to start doing or should start doing in your business. So just think about where these might make sense. Where should I be doing them? Where might I do these things? Okay, in my day. Then organize that brain dump by morning, afternoon, and evening. We're going to start thinking about the time. So now that you have a column next to each one of these things, the should column, the want to column, the need to column, and you're thinking about, okay, well, this one I do every day. This one I only do on Tuesdays. This one I only do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, blah, blah, blah. Then you think about, okay, should I do these things in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? Or if there's a set time. Because some people don't like time blocks. They feel like, oh, it's too constrictive and it's too overwhelming to have 40 things or 20 things or 15 things on their list of things to do today because they're using time blocks. So time blocks are where you're dedicating an hour or maybe 30 minutes, just depends, maybe an hour and a half, maybe a couple hours to a specific activity in your business. And so you're building a schedule such that, hey, maybe your schedule starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and it ends at 11 o'clock at night, and you're accounting for every hour throughout the day. That's rigid, but it will help you to stay focused and on task, and it will bring you back to what you should be doing. Now, will you be able to follow it 1000% of the time? Absolutely not. Will it make you nuts and create a bunch of stress for you if you have to look at that list and you're always not getting through everything? Well, what it will do over time is one, it'll help you build a better and more realistic schedule. So if your time block is 1 hour for listing, maybe 2 hours for listing makes more sense. Open it up and make it a little more relaxed. If you're only giving yourself 1 hour for shipping, maybe that's not realistic. Maybe 2 hours for shipping related activities or the shipping component of your business makes more sense. If you are saying, I'm only going to spend an hour on my kids' homework, and the reality is There are times when you're up in the middle of the night building a volcano with your son or your daughter for their science project, and that's like a 3 hour thing. Now that's a one time, so it's not something you do every single week, but maybe because of the types of classes that your child is taking, or that they're, what they're learning, or what their gift or skill is, and maybe they require a little more time. So maybe 2 hours is more realistic to put down for homework. And on those days in which you're not spending 2 hours doing that, that's fine. So time blocks might work for you, but it might also create stress. If it creates stress for you, then maybe you decide, I'm going to put down, here's some things I should be doing in the mornings, or I want to do in the mornings. Here's some things I want to do in the afternoons, and here's some things I want to do in the evenings. So it's a little less rigid, and you don't have dedicated time for things. Now, I will say that opening up and making it a little more relaxed is okay, because then you can build checklists. But be mindful of your personality type. If you're a person that is a massive procrastinator, you wait till the last minute to do anything. It doesn't matter if it's something as simple as, I don't know, I have no idea, putting a stamp on an envelope to go to the DMV. I have no idea. If you are a person that you feel like, okay, I'm going to be honest with myself, I'm a massive procrastinator, then morning, afternoon, and evenings may continue to set you up for failure. It may not serve you well. But if you freak out because you don't like time blocks, then you got to find a happy medium there. Okay. So you got to find something that's actually going to help you break a bad habit that you might already have and help you to make more progress in your business. So just be honest with yourself, figure out which one works for you. If you feel like I need some help with this part of my business and this part of my life, then you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me. You can go to ecomsellers.com, click on freebies, and schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. And I'll help you flesh this out, because sometimes it feels overwhelming. Sometimes it can be exhausting. And so let's flush it out. Let's figure out what's going to work better for you. Okay. And based on your life, your lifestyle, and your personality, we're really building a schedule that's going to serve your life, your lifestyle, and your personality and how you do things. Now, some things about your personality, again, if you're not serving yourself well, meaning you're a massive procrastinator and you know that about yourself, that means it's going to force you to stretch, which means you're going to have some temporary stress in your life until you build some new habits to help you to get better. So that's all I'm saying. Okay. And you need to be prepared for that. Then the next thing is, as we look at that, organizing that brain dump, I want you to think about some of those activities that are on that brain dump. Some of them will become what we call mini habits or mini goals, and we're going to take a deep dive into that in just a minute. Some of them will become routines or habit stacking, like things that make logical sense to go together in sequential order. Some of them, like I mentioned before, will be time blocks. Some of them you just will convert to to-do list or maybe a checklist, so that way you can reduce your stress. And some of them you will turn or convert into SMART goals, something that is specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant or realistic, and timely or time bound. So you're going to create something that's measurable. So an example of that might be that you want to be $1 million seller. I think that is a great goal to shoot for. I think everyone has the potential to be $1 million seller. So in order to do that, one of the things you might start with is, how much money do I need to be? How many products do I need to be selling? Or what do my sales need to be? Okay. So we can take that $1 million number and we can divide that by the remaining number of months in the year, the remaining number of weeks in the year, the remaining number of days in the year. We're going to use that information and help us to figure out how much I should be selling every single day. So that gives me a target and a goal, and it's a specific number. How much I should be selling every week. Again, it's a target and it's a goal on specifically what I need to be doing. How much I should be selling every month. Again, it's relevant. It's related to getting to that $1 million timeline. And then, reaching that December 31st of 2022 goal date. So again, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of those. But like I said, some of your activities are going to be specific to that. So I want you to think about that. All right. So as you're going through this process of, putting your dates next to, sorry, putting your day potentially of the week that it makes sense for you to do these activities, and whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, and whether or not this is really going to be a mini goal or mini habit that I need to establish, whether it's going to be a time block or whatever. So I'll go ahead and I'll get into some of these real quick because we're going to come back to it. Just a sec. I'm going to scroll down. So I'm moving to, if you're looking at the document, I'm going to move to like page 4. I think this is page 4. Pretty sure it is. So page 4, when I talk about mini habits or mini goals, these are small, easily attainable goals that you can do and you won't fail. Okay. So a mini habit or a mini goal might be, maybe you're not creating listings every single day and you want to start creating listings every single day. Okay. So if it feels overwhelming to you because you got to first build the habit, then why don't we start with a small, easily attainable goal? So instead of saying I'm going to create 20 listings a day, why don't we start with I'm just going to create 1 listing a day? And let's build some momentum around creating 1 listing a day. What I mean by that is I'm going to create 1 listing a day every single day for the next 2 weeks. Now I'm slowly building the habit and the routine of creating listings on a daily basis, starting with 1 so I can build that habit and I won't be overwhelmed. Then maybe after 2 weeks, you move to 3 listings a day and you do that for 2 weeks. Then after the 2 weeks and you've attained that and it feels comfortable and you're not stressed out about it, then maybe you move to 5 listings for 2 weeks every single day. Again, it's stretching you a little bit. You're still building the habit, and eventually you're going to get to 10. So it's a gradual way to get there without freaking out, without stressing yourself out, without feeling overwhelmed because maybe you have the chaos hammer living in your house. Or maybe the chaos hammer is living in your life. And so you've got to do everything baby steps until you get this ball of chaos to some extent under control. So that's an easy way to do that. Another thing might be, another way to look at that is maybe you have a mini habit or mini goal around drinking water or maybe going for a walk. So I focused on the business the first time. Maybe this time we focus on something personal. So maybe you're not going for a walk. So we're going to start with something easily attainable, like go for a walk for 5 minutes. You'll be like, well, that doesn't do anything. Well, initially it doesn't, but we're just trying to build the habit of going for the walk. Okay. That's all we're doing. So we're not stressing ourselves out about it. We're not stressing ourselves out about jumping on the scale every single day. Like we're just trying to build the habit of the routine itself. Okay. So 5 minutes. Okay. Do that for 1 week and then we move up to 10 minutes. Do that for 1 week. Then we move up to 15 minutes. Do that for 1 week. And eventually you get up to 30 minutes. Now you've built the habit of every single day going for a walk. And so when you don't walk, you're like, okay, I don't like the fact that I didn't walk today. Subconsciously, it's now that it's a habit, you're going to want to do it. So using mini habits or mini goals to develop a new skill, trait, characteristic, habit that you don't currently have or that you want to consistently have is a great way to get started. The next one is habit stacking. I love habit stacking, but I like to think of it in the context of routines. Habit stacking is putting together activities that are related or connected in some kind of way or that make logical sense to go together and putting them in an order that also makes sense. So an example would be we all have a morning routine and an evening routine. It may not be fancy for you. It may be very simple and straightforward, but there is a routine that you have. Like you probably get up, maybe you go to the restroom, you maybe get your cup of coffee. If you have pets, you let the dogs out, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you get dressed, you put your socks and shoes on, you grab whatever you need to grab to go to work, maybe your lunch bag, maybe you grab your breakfast sandwich. I don't know. You get in the car, you drive to work. Like that's all a routine. It's a sequence of activities that happen that make logical sense to go together. Um, Listing, creating a listing. There's a bunch of different things that are part of creating a listing. A listing doesn't just come together by itself. Creating a listing requires you to have a title and a description. It requires you to have images. It requires you to know how much you're selling this thing for. And it also requires you to know what the shipping is going to be. So, in order to put up a listing, if you don't know what the shipping is, you're not going to be able to save that listing or whatever your shipping solution is going to be. If you don't have a title, you're not going to be able to save that listing. If you don't have a description, you're more than likely not going to be able to save that listing. If you don't have images, you might not be able to save the listing. So, I mean, you can save it as a template or save it as a draft, but I'm saying it's not a complete listing. So, all of those little pieces that I mentioned are part of creating a listing. So, there's a routine around creating listings, and what is yours? Maybe yours is complex and it needs to be simplified. Maybe it's too simplified and it really needs to have some more weight to it in order for you to get more organic searches and to spend less money on ads. So again, looking at something that is an activity that you do and or multiple activities that you do that make logical sense to go together. That's habit stacking. So, what does your morning routine look like? What does your evening routine look like? Maybe there's some opportunities to buy back some time there. Maybe they're not as efficient as they could be. What does your listing routine look like? Maybe there's an opportunity to streamline or make that a little more efficient. So, break it down. Like if you were going to lay it out on a table, like an assembly line. So, if you were to take it apart, put it on a table, like think about those little box race cars or wooden race cars. I think they are. Like if you take all the pieces and you just lay it out, you got to reassemble it to put it back together to make it into a car. So we're going to dissect each individual piece of your process, whatever that is, and look at your opportunities to improve it, streamline it, make it better, make it faster. Okay. Okay. The next thing is, hold on, just one second. My son is looking for something. All right. The next thing on the list is time blocking. I talked about time blocks, and I think, for some people, setting aside a dedicated amount of time to do a specific activity or a specific thing is a good thing. Now, I'm going to encourage you not to do 30-minute time blocks if you're just getting started. I'm going to encourage you to actually do, at least an hour, 2-hour time blocks. So don't do 30 minutes because it's very frustrating when you first start off if you've never done time blocks before. Okay. So go with, when you're building your time blocks and you're dedicating some time, make sure that you build in some break time and make sure, like if you're going to do 2 30-minute time blocks together, that's fine. Maybe use 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break, and then another 25 minutes to take a 5-minute break. So that way you're not burning yourself out. Because everyone has an optimal time of the day to get a bunch of stuff done. Like there's a window in your life where you're like, ooh, I get a whole bunch of stuff done early in the morning, or I get a whole bunch of stuff done in the evening after I put my kids to bed, or maybe I get a whole bunch of stuff done just before lunch. Like there's a window where you actually feel like you're the most productive and you get the most stuff done. So we're going to talk about how you can use that window to put some of your most labor intensive, your most involved things that require deep thought, deep focus, put those into that time block window so that you can use that to your advantage. So in other words, if you liken it to driving, you can get further faster driving on the highway when there's no traffic than you will driving through the city where there's stoplights everywhere. Like, So if you're one of those people where you feel like, okay, I am able to get more stuff done, it's like a highway window for you. I'm able to drive like crazy and just get a bunch of stuff done. I can take on several miles. I can cover a lot of ground very quickly. Then that's your highway. That highway time. When is that time of the day where you feel like, even if you have minor setbacks from here or there, you're still able to get a bunch of stuff done? And so think about that as we get ready to build out this schedule, because we want to make sure that when we're building it, that is the window in which we try to put those things that require either deep thought or that are more complex, or maybe that's where we put a bunch of simple things so we feel like we make progress in our business. Different people like to tackle it different ways. Okay. But the first thing about time blocks is that I do want to encourage you not to do 30-minute time blocks if you've never done them before. If you're a person that procrastinates a lot, I'm going to encourage you to use the time block method, because of the fact that you can dedicate, okay, 1 hour for listing, 1 hour for shipping, 1 hour for whatever, and you can focus. And so if you don't do anything at all, you only have yourself to account for not getting that done. Now, if you need an accountability partner, you can definitely schedule some time with me. We can try to get you back on track. But time blocks, again, having dedicated focus time to complete a specific task or activity, or to execute a specific routine. And then checklists, again, for some people, checklist and to-do list help them to visually see the progress that they're making and help them to gain momentum. So if checklists work for you, I'm excited for you to use it. Use it to your advantage. If some of these things need to be checklists for you, that's fine. If some of these things need to be a to-do list for you, that's fine. Sometimes we need a little momentum in our day and in our life in order for us to continue going on. Some days we feel like we haven't gotten anything done. But then when we go look at that list and it's like, oh my God, I checked off 5 things. I checked off 7 things. I checked off 19 things. Okay, yes, I did get a bunch of stuff done. It just didn't feel like I got a bunch of stuff done. And then I talked about SMART goals before. So there are going to be some activities that you do in your business that are definitely going to be focused 100% on SMART goals. And there's some more goal setting techniques and strategies down below on page, I think it's page 4, page 5. You can go and look in those. So I'm going to reset the room real quick because we are live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. So my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people along their e-commerce journey, helping them to get more focused, more organized, more structured, be more productive in their business. So if that is you, I am happy to help you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me by going to ecomsellers.com and clicking on freebies to schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. If you are a person that needs a little more support on your e-commerce journey, not really sure where to start, what to do, you can join eCom Sellers Academy at $17.99 a month. And there you will gain access to our training library of over 200 training videos. You'll gain access to our live weekly training sessions. They are every Tuesday at 8 p.m. You can gain access to our live Q&A. You'll get 10 free retail online arbitrage leads. That's going to help you to go out and make money today. And you'll also get, in other words, you can buy products to flip and sell on another platform for a higher price, and you can keep the difference. In addition to that, you'll also get 10 wholesale lists as well, so that way you can begin the process of building your wholesale library of suppliers that you can order inventory from in the future. So we're going to do everything we can to help you be as successful as you can. So on this journey, let's see the next thing after we've kind of started the process of establishing what goes where. Now we're going to take the weekly template and we're going to start filling out, we're going to take the weekly brain dump and we're going to go now and fill out the weekly template side of the folder tab. Remember at the beginning, I told you if you're using Google Sheets, you have 2 tabs. So the second tab is the weekly template. And we're going to start plugging in all of the stuff that we did a brain dump on. And we're going to start organizing those things. We're going to organize what are the things we're doing in the morning, afternoon, and evening on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to do that. We're going to make adjustments to it. We're going to tweak it. And this will be your starter template. Okay? This is your starter template and not your actual. And just know that you're probably going to have different versions of it since we're coming into the summer. If you have kids, you probably have a template for the summer. If you, when school starts, you have a template for when school's back in session. If you are a person that buys specific types of products that require more time, like you might have a Q4 template because you're going to be spending more time in your business during Q4 because it requires more time. So you're going to build multiple templates. You're going to tweak them, but your starter template is just something you're going to try on, and you're going to use it for a few weeks before you start making changes to it. You're going to see if it works out for you. And then once you've tested it for a few weeks, make adjustments to it. Now you've got a template you can work with for a period of time. So I can tell you, I have at least 4 different templates, and I just rotate through them. Sometimes I'll build a 5th one, but it depends on what's happening in my life. So I have multiple templates, and I use them for different times of the year. My son runs track, so when he's in track season, I have a completely different template than I do throughout the week. Than I do any other time. So now that we have this template and it's just kind of a guide on what we're going to do in our business, now we're going to write down what we're actually going to do in our business. So I refer to this as the actual. So we use the template to build the actual. Okay. And we use that template. The other thing I do want to encourage you, just for 1 second, you can do everything that I'm talking about. You can do all of this inside your e-commerce planner. So if you grab the eCom planner, it will help you to be able to do the things that I'm talking about, all of the things that I've mentioned in your e-commerce business. So you can go to myecomplanner.com right now to grab the e-commerce planner. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. You can get the digital version or the physical version, whichever one works for you. So now we're going to build our actual schedule. This is where all of the fun stuff that you did before is now going to make a whole lot more sense, which means it's going to make you a whole lot more money. Hello. So we're going to take that template and we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to go look at the monthly plan. Why do we look at the monthly plan? Well, when you built the monthly plan, you got week 1 of the month, week 2 of the month, week 3 of the month, week 4 of the month. And when you built your monthly plan, you said that there were some things in this month of May, we happen to be in May right now, that you really wanted to get done, and you had some activities around the first week of the month. And maybe those were administrative activities, but you threw in some other business related stuff. Maybe week 2 is where you decided, hey, I sell XYZ products. So maybe you sell outdoor sports products. And so you've already ordered your inventory for your outdoor sports products for the summer. You need to be thinking about outdoor activities for the fall. What are those things? So I know like people do hunting in the fall, and there's some camping activities that they do in the fall because, the sun is not beaming down directly on them like it is in the summertime. So you're sourcing some different products maybe in the fall. And so maybe that's on your list of things that you do in your monthly plan. You already built your monthly plan. Okay. Then you probably had some monthly goals, income producing goals. You had some operational goals. You had some marketing related goals. And so maybe you had some stuff that was in week 2, and then you had week 3 and week 4. So you need to go look at that monthly plan because we're going to build an actual based on that. What are the things based on where we are? We're going into the third full week of May. So what are those things that were on the third full week of May that you really need to be making progress towards? Why does all this matter? Is because by the time you're in the third week of May, hopefully you're halfway through your monthly goals, or at least getting close to being halfway through your monthly goals. And maybe the third week of May is going to push you over that edge so you can get through your monthly goals. Then you have some priorities. You've built this template. What are the priorities for this week? So the priorities for this week for me, like, I'm just going to be honest, like this is the last week of school for us. So I got to get these teacher appreciation gifts out. So this ain't got nothing to do with e-commerce, but it is a priority. So I got to put it on my list of priorities because I can't show up on Friday with teacher gifts because some of those teachers not even come to school on Friday. They're like, I'm cleaning out my desk in my office and my room by Wednesday, and I'm not coming back to school on Thursday and Friday. These kids wore me out. So I'm just saying. So you need to figure out what are your priorities for this specific week that you need to focus on. If this specific week means that you need to order, maybe you order red, white, and blue inventory. Maybe you're ordering lapel pins because you know that as you get closer to the elections at the end of the year, that there's not going to be any lapel pins. And so you need to go ahead and order them now. Maybe you're ordering inventory for back to school now. Maybe you're ordering your Halloween inventory. So what are you ordering? We're going to be specific about the what. That's what we're doing. So the priority, what is the priority for this week? What are the things that I need to do this week that I don't need to push off for some other later time that's going to make a difference in my business next week? Okay, the following week. So there may be some, maybe this week you're doing more product research so that the following week you can do more sourcing. So there's intentional moves here that you're making in your business. If that's the case, that's fantastic. Let's put down product research. What are we doing product research on? What are we doing product research on? If you don't know and you're just doing like retail arbitrage, you're doing some generic buying, that's fine. There's going to be still some things that are specific to retail arbitrage. Retail arbitrage is not 100% random. It is actually intentional. Okay. So you're going to purchase some things that are specific to things that are coming up. So it's really not random. Okay, so we're going to go and look at those priorities, establish the priorities for the week. We're going to look at the goals for the month, and we're going to use those to help us to build this week's actual schedule. All right, so now we're going to move to the next part of the checklist, which is what are the habits that we need to build this week. Now, when you're building habits, you're not building habits in a vacuum. You're not building them for just this week only. Any habits that you establish, they should be for a 30-day period at a minimum. They can be for a 60-day period. They can be for a 90-day period. But you're not really building a habit only doing something for 1 week. That's not a habit. That's just the checklist of activities that you're doing. So a habit is something you're doing over and over again for an extended period of time until you have it, until you've got it, until it's ingrained in your routine. So 30 days of consistently doing the same thing 7 days a week is going to help you to build a new habit around something. So what are the habits that you need to establish for this week? Okay. Then after you work through the habits that you're working to establish this week, now we're going to go through the actuals. So let me scroll on down. We talked about when it comes to the actual schedule, we're copying the weekly template and we're going to fill in and replace in the weekly template in the actual. We're going to put the actual activity. So wherever you have product research, what are you doing product research on? Be specific, be intentional. What product research can you do today that's going to change your business in the future? Like I said before, you're not selling Mother's Day stuff on Mother's Day. You're sourcing that stuff in advance. You're doing research on that stuff in advance. So what are the things that you can do since you have a time block on your schedule for product research that you can do this week that's going to impact your business in the future? Okay. When it says, what are you listing? So what are the things that you're creating listings for? Maybe this week you're creating, or you're having your VA maybe create some draft listings for you. So what are those listings? Exactly. What are the products that he or she is creating listings for you? Don't be vague, be specific. Now, again, some of those, depending on your method of e-commerce, might be vague, but others are going to be definitely specific. Like, I'm creating listings now for back to school socks, back to school underwear, back to school, whatever. I don't know, t-shirts, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to be specific. I'm not going to be vague. I'm not going to be generic. Because you know what? As soon as school is out, school's going to be back in. The school's going to be sitting at that list that says, these are the school supplies that your child needs to have. You'd be like, oh, then you put the parents in that frame of mind of, oh my God, I got to go buy some school's clothes. Okay. So they get a little bit of a brain break and then they got to go back into, oh, I got to get you back in school. So what are the listings that you're creating this week? Be specific, be intentional, even if they're draft listings. Okay. What are the shipping activities that you're performing this week? So maybe you placed a big order and you have an order that is scheduled, it's en route to arrive on Monday. So you need to open it up, relabel it, and ship it off to FBA or WFS. So maybe it's shipment A or shipment B, or maybe it's the shipment for all the plushes or a shipment for socks. Whatever it happens to be specific. This week we're shipping off the socks to our 3PL. Okay, put that on your actual schedule. Okay. So it doesn't come up the following week that, oh, okay, I forgot about this shipment over here. No, you didn't forget about it. You were intentional and you made time to address that shipment to get it off to its next real destination. Then sourcing. So what are the products that you're going to be sourcing this week? What are they? Be specific. Okay. Then what are you going to be learning this week? So what are the things you're going to be focusing on learning? I mentioned before, like some of the learning activities might be, getting better at Google Ads, getting better at product listings, getting better at whatever. What are your learning or education related activities that you're doing this week specific? Not asking you to put a bunch of time to it, just saying there's an activity and I'm going to make sure I have some time allotted to learning something new. And then your administrative tasks. What are those administrative tasks you need to get done this week? You're going into the third full week of May. So what are those administrative tasks that you need to focus on? And which ones are relevant? Which ones are important? Okay. Next, it is in your life. So let's talk about the things that are happening in your life. So I said before, you're not running this in a vacuum. You need to build a schedule that works for you, your business, your life, your lifestyle, everything about you. So if we're working on getting better at accounting for where we're wasting time or spending time, this is your opportunity to make sure that you're accounting for the things. So if this week you're practicing for maybe a marathon, not a marathon, maybe there's like a 5 mile run that's, I don't know, chicken run. I don't know. I just made that up. So I know they have the turkey runs in the fall, but I don't know what they're doing in the summer. So maybe there's a bubble run. I have no idea. But anyway, you want to start practicing for that. So this week, as your fitness thing, you're practicing, you're running 3 miles every single day for the chicken run or the bubble run or whatever it is. So you put that on your schedule because that's an activity that you want to check off that I actually did do that. I'm preparing myself for that run. For me, I know it's going to be this weekend. I got to put together a whole bunch of teacher gifts. I got to write. I got to learn all. If I didn't learn the teachers' names, I got to know them now. I got to know them now. So I got to go and write out the teachers' names on all the teacher gifts. And we got to write thank you cards and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have so much fun, guys. All right. Not that I don't appreciate the teachers. I really do. I actually do appreciate the teachers. And then you're also going to look at your online calendar for the week, your personal one and your work. Next week should not be a surprise to you. So, when people say, well, I don't have time to do these things, and it's because everything is a surprise and you're living in a reactionary mode. You're reacting to your schedule versus taking control and commanding your schedule. So if you don't know what's happening next week, go make some time right now to go figure out, oh, we had dentist appointments on Thursday. And oh, by the way, I got to take the dog to the vet on Wednesday and blah, blah, blah. Like all this shouldn't be a surprise. You shouldn't be finding out the morning of. So go look at next week and see what's on your schedule. So that way you can plug in those things for next week as well. That's going to require you to maybe make some adjustments to your actual, because if taking the kids to the dentist is like during your window in which you're supposed to be creating listings and doing shipments, then that has to move to some other time in the day. So maybe you move it from the morning to the afternoon, or maybe from the afternoon to the evening, because of the fact that you have this window in the middle where you got to go pick up the kids from school, take them to the dentist, take them back to school. So keep all of those things in mind, looking at your weekly schedule and your online schedule. So you're using your weekly to build your weekly template to build your actual schedule, so that way you can be more productive in your business, focusing on the things that are going to make a difference and help you move the needle little by little in your business. So let's go look at what an example schedule might look like. So this is an example of schedule. I have two different schedules here. I have one of a person that's working in 9 to 5. Their business model is retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and drop shipping. And so they work a 9 to 5. And then the second person is a template where it's a stay-at-home mom and she's doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, print on demand, and drop shipping. Okay. She could be doing private label or white label. I just didn't choose that. But in this example, two different schedules for two different people that shows what your schedule potentially could look like in your spreadsheet when you're done. You have a template and then you plug in the actual of what you're doing. So when I say I'm doing product research, what am I doing product research on? When I say I am doing sourcing, like what am I sourcing or where am I sourcing? If I'm doing retail arbitrage, like, okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go to Target, I go to Kroger, and I go to, I don't know, Big Lots. Where am I sourcing? So I'm being specific. Is it in my drive path on my way home from work? Is it not? So I figure those things out. So you can look at the weekly template and kind of give you some guide on what your schedule could potentially look like so that you actually have more time to work your business. If you're saying, I only have 5 hours a week to commit to my business, then whatever you do in those 5 hours has to be 100% laser focused on things that are going to move the needle in your business. You need to focus on those income producing activities the most, and the other stuff you're going to have to work it in. But the thing I will challenge you with is, do you really just have 5 hours? Or are you just saying you have 5 hours and you really have close to 15 hours, but because you waste 10 hours a week? You need to go back and look at where you have opportunities to tighten up your schedule or to get rid of things that are not serving you well. Maybe it's like, oh, okay, I got to sit down and binge watch, what is it, Moon Knight? I got to sit down and watch Moon Knight. And then after I watch Moon Knight, I don't know what the next series is. I mean, these, I will tell you, it's getting really interesting. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, like, it's not a coincidence that they have these series that you have to watch every single week to see what's happening next. That is intentional. They're doing that on purpose to keep you plugged in and to make sure that you're 100% focused so that you will come back for more of the anticipation of what's happening next. It's intentional, helps them with their viewer ratings. So my question to you is, when you're sitting down and watching this stuff, how is that making you money? How is watching, what's the one that's coming up on Hulu? I think it's Candy. How is that going to make you money? I think the other one that was on Hulu was like Pam and Tommy. How did that make you money? Like, if watching these things are making you money, that's fantastic. But if they are not making you money, then they're not serving you well. Do you have to watch them? No. Is it a guilty pleasure? Probably. Could you do something while you're watching it? Probably. So I need you to think about that. Some of this stuff is not accidental. It's intentional. It's designed to get you keep you coming back for more, anticipating wanting more. So build a schedule based on your weekly, build an actual for next week that's going to help you make money in your e-commerce business. Go and establish the goals that are going to make sense for your business and where you want to go in your business, and make sure that you're whittling away at your big goal. What is your big, hairy, audacious goal? What is the big goal? If it's to be $1 million seller, let's whittle away at it every single day. So I'm not going to break down this entire person's schedule, either one of these two sample schedules. I just want you to go download it. You can go to ecommerceplanning.com, download in the file section the weekly template so you can look at the example schedules. And then from there, plug in the actual. What is the actual thing you're doing this week? Be intentional about the decisions that you're making, the actions that you take in your business and in your life. You'll actually make more progress and you'll be way more productive than you ever thought you could be. Doing this over and over again, you'll find over the next, if you do this every week for the next 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm making a whole lot of progress in my business and I don't understand why. It's not that you're doing anything. The thing that you're doing different is that you're being intentional about where you're spending your time and what you're spending your time on. That's the thing. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I hope you go download this and use it to help you to make money in your e-commerce business. and to make progress. Let's go and get that $1 million bag, okay, guys? So download this document. It's actually on page 8. I didn't realize it was page 8, where you can look at all the goals and all of the goal information, pages 7, 8, 9 of the downloadable document. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey. I want to help you to reach your goals, whatever those goals are, to become that $1 million seller that you've always wanted to be. If that is you and you feel like you need some help and support, you can definitely schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. If you are not organized in your business and you feel like I need to get a little more organized, little by little, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small and expand out. Then you can grab the eCom planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com, download the digital version of the e-commerce planner, or you can get the physical version. It's specifically designed to help you make progress in your e-commerce business. So I encourage you to grab that and go build out your actual schedule for next week, because you can use it in the daily e-com planning sessions. And if you need some support on your e-commerce journey, you're not really sure where to start, whether you're doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or thrifting, whether you're selling books, whether you are doing wholesale liquidations, whether you're doing private label, white label, drop shipping, print on demand, it doesn't matter to us. We have training videos on all of those. So if you need some help on that journey, we are here for you. You can sign up for eCom Sellers Academy at $17.99 a month, or you can sign up for the lifetime and get a free e-commerce planner. So go to ecomsellersacademy.com, sign up for $17.99 a month. Let us help you on your e-commerce journey. Join our private Facebook group. Gain access to our training library of over 200 training videos. Get the weekly retail arbitrage and online arbitrage list emailed to you, and also the weekly wholesale list. So my prayer for you, my hope for you, my wish for you is that you have a highly productive, extremely focused, and successful day and week. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Come back and join me on Monday as we go through our daily planning session on Monday. Bye for now, guys. See you later.